My name is Robert Walker Wells. I was born September 18th, 1936. And things were pretty rough back during the Depression days, and they come out with this CCC program where young boys could join up and finish their education, finish school, and also learn trades. So my brother Arthur was about the right age, so he joined up to try to help the family out because it was a big family and hard times. Well, first he went up in Tennessee, but then they transferred him to Monte Sano Mountain when they was building the park there. And he worked on that park for probably 2 years until he finished his school, and he had learned to be an electrician while he was in the CCC. When he got out, of course, he worked for about a year at the Lincoln Mills and then joined the Navy.
I'm Steve Jones. I'm a retired forester and applied ecologist, and I'm sitting right now in the middle of the 40 acres that Robert and Catherine Wells donated to the Alabama State Park System. Part of the gift that Robert and Catherine made was that the trail through this parcel would carry the name of Robert's older brother, who died in the Battle of Leyte Gulf when his ship was sunk.
My brother and his best friend went down on the ships on the same day. We bought about 150 acres that run up the side of the mountain there. There was 40 of it. It was on two sides, joined by the park, and it had virgin timber on it. We didn't want to cut that virgin timber. Me and my wife, Catherine, we discussed it, and she also agreed the best thing to do was give it to the park. And they could bring in foresters, students from different colleges, and actually show them what a virgin forest looked like. Because they said there's very, very little of it left in the state of Alabama.
So it's in part left untouched because it was too difficult to get to, too inaccessible, and as a result, it stands now undisturbed by the hand of man. The slope gets very concave and then it actually rises on the other side, but these concave lower slopes have more nutrients, have more moisture available. These trees have a very favorable environment throughout the growing season. These are limestone-derived soil, which is much more fertile than sandstone. Limestone dissolves, and occasionally it will dissolve enough to create caves, and then as the caves collapse over long periods of time, we end up with sinks, and these are depressions in the lower slope that on this particular site can range from 30 feet across at the top to hundreds of feet. Its greatest direct expression of soil and site quality is tree height. You're up on top of the mountain on Monte Sano State Park, the trees seldom exceed 80 or 90 feet tall. I'm in what I call a cathedral forest. The trees reach tall, many of these well over 120 feet. Some of these trees are 3+ feet in diameter. This is a shagbark hickory. Shagbark, aptly named, has a grapevine, muscadine perhaps, growing around its base and reaching up into the canopy. This tree is at least 150 years old. This hickory tree fell directly across the Wells Memorial Trail. You can see the individual annual ring. And this tree was every bit of 200 years, and it may take it another several decades to return to the soil as the decay organisms, insects, other decomposers go to work. I'm standing in a dimple on the landscape, a limestone sink, and it looks like about 8 feet deep from the surrounding landscape and maybe 20 feet across at the top. And just looking around me, a whole mix of species. Big red oak over there, and I see hickory, I see poplar, and I see a gorgeous time of the year and a gorgeous time of the day. This was a log of considerable size at one point. I'm estimating it's been on the ground dead for at least 2 decades, and you can see that what was wood is now rich organic matter. Imagine being near this tree 20 years ago or whenever it happened, and lightning, a powerful bolt of lightning hit this tree, killed the interior of the tree, made this raw wound where temperatures were several times hotter than the surface of the sun. And eventually the decay will likely overcome the strength of the tree, and gravity, wind, ice will bring it down. And to me, looking up through this thinning canopy, as the leaves fall more and more each day, to me it's the same feeling I get in looking at the sun hitting the stained glass windows. This land now is a part of Monte State Park and will be forever. In woods of this nature, these deep forests, we're within 5 miles as the crow flies from the city of Huntsville, Alabama. Well, it's nice to be back on the Wells Trail. It's late spring. We still have some dappled sunlight reaching the forest floor. It's a jack in the pulpit. It likes rich, well-drained forest soils. It has a 3-part leaf, and here under the leaf is jack in the pulpit. We've seen a number of examples of this upland phlox, the blue lavender phlox. Small, diminutive lyre-leaf sage. This is by far the largest one we found. It still has a good flower head at the top. Alongside the trail, under the shade of a Christmas fern, we have a trillium whose flower bud hasn't opened yet. It's a sessile trillium. Well, we're fortunate to find a different kind of trillium. This is a white trillium. This one does have a flower stem above the leaves. We're standing here by a mayapple. It's called a mayapple because it fruits with a walnut-sized green pod in May, mayapple, and it's got this lovely yellowish green white flower. I'm partial to the bluish purple color of this larkspur, and on the one side of the flower head is a pointed spur. And we have here a wild geranium still in flower, a little late. All of these trails represent a magnificent, well-maintained network of hiking, biking, running trails. The Wells just a part of the total package. When I walk through these woods, knowing what I know about the history, feeling the special, sacred, spiritual nature of the place, I feel a deep connection to something far larger than I. I feel that connection to Robert and Catherine and to the brother who died so many years ago in fighting for American liberty.
Oh, I think you'd be proud of it. I think a lot of people will enjoy that trail and be amazed at the trees on that trail.
Next weekend, I'm going to bring my 2 Alabama grandsons out here so that they can begin to believe, look, see, feel, and then act. It might be something as simple as becoming more engaged with the local state park, one of 21 in Alabama. It might be feeling deeply enough to prompt me to get more engaged with the North Alabama Land Trust. It might be something as simple as encouraging my friends to come out with me next time I come out here. I'm reminded of what Louis Bromfield, a mid-20th century author, the land came to us out of eternity. And when the youngest of us associated with it dies, it will still be here. The best any of us can hope to accomplish during our fleeting time on earth is to make some small corner of the earth better.